Welcome back, guys. Another episode here from Men Behind the Mitts, episode 91.
Ferdorov.
Sergei Ferdorov, another Russian.
White Nikes.
These
always come to mind when I think of
the bubble. Yeah, the bubble. What do they have? Like the designs, like the ovals
like
on
an
them?
Air Max look.
Those are fresh skates. I remember. So there's two skates. Oh wow, I'm already getting sidetracked. Two skates that when you saw people have, I think it was those Nikes and Graphs.
Yeah.
Like if you had those Nikes or Graphs, like, oh, that guy can play.
Yeah.
And
if you match it up with the Nike Bauer 4500.
And remember the white Nike gloves back then?
Yes, I had a pair. They're white and black. Yeah,
of course you did. I did not have those. I had whatever played against Sports had that month on special. $12.99 for gloves, Dad. Can we get these? Let's do it. Fuck. But yeah, man, those skates were great. But yeah, back for another week. Excited to be back. Last week's episode was great. Had a good time. Rolling right into this week, man. We've got some hot takes.
Yeah, we're fired up. We just killed a pump.
Yeah, got a good workout in. It's so good. It's so good having you back, man. I'm telling you, like, it's not only this, the studio is so much fun. Like having this time set apart in our day is fantastic. But getting to work out together again, I truly miss that, man.
Yeah, me too.
Like it was definitely a solid workout. I just can't wait to get back to like where we were, like prime time. Like, you know what I mean? Nasty. Like trying to get juicy again and shit. Like I truly enjoy working out. Like I'm really happy. Like I've always been large. I think I've said this multiple times on this pod, but I've always been a big fella, but I've always enjoyed lifting. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like and what I've recently had to fall in love with is cardio. You know what I mean? I really need to something cardio because that's what really keeps the pounds off. Like diet and cardio. Like if you're
diet, especially. Yes.
Yeah. Cause I used to just eat and then lift and be like, as long as I can eat whatever I want, as long as I just lift heavy. And that was not the case because I got to 304 pounds by I didn't get there by accident is what I always tell people. Like I knew what I was doing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but yeah, man, like getting the diet and the diet's been decent, you know, like I haven't ever since 75 hard, I haven't fully reverted like just to eating like whatever I wanted, but I still have days. And speaking of those days, we had a welcome back party for my guy Silk over here. We had some people over the house Saturday, had a good time, had the hockey team over, the former Misfits and stuff like that. And we were just geeking out about how much food we fucking ate. Like, bro.
I smashed 4 cheeseburgers. One of them had buffalo chicken dip I put on top. And then everyone starts to leave. There's only a few of us left. And what happens? Me and Jay find the cake.
Oh, man. So
2 cakes.
So Harvey, shout out to Harvey. Our buddy Harvey brought these cakes over. One was blueberry and one was raspberry. And I was like, you know what? I'm not a big cake guy. Like I'm a cookie monster. I will
love some cookies.
Oreos, chocolate chip cookies. I will go to town. I'm not big on cake, right? And this wasn't like a normal cake it doesn't have like icing, but it had like filling, like blueberry and raspberry filling. And like I made my way over to the, a couple Coronis in there, made my way over where the cake was on the stovetop, and I would cut a chunk for Silk, and I'd cut like a smaller chunk for myself, and I'd be like, here you go, buddy. And then I would eat it. I would go whole, and then he'd be like, oh, it's so good. And as we're eating, I'd be chewing, and I'd open the other cake, and I'd cut you a chunk, and then me a slice.
It was so moist. It was the most delicious cake ever. And speaking of, you know what I was really raving about to my chick? The cake pop.
The cake. Oh yeah,
the fucking cake pop, bro.
Yeah, so that was special. Lord, Chick doesn't just give those out. So,
I feel so blessed.
Yeah, like only you and Steve had them that night. I didn't even get one. She was like, because there wasn't enough for her and me to have them. So like, really, you guys consumed the ones. And then she put me on blast. She's like, Josh already had 5. I was like, easy. I was like, easy. Like, because I have like that's my treat. She brings home the cake pops. I have like one a day.
I gotta find out where you guys got those before I leave.
I'll get them.
Have to get my girl to try those.
I'll get them. I think her coworker's cousin or something makes them, but she brings them in the office all the time, and she buys a box of them. But yeah, Irish car bomb, and then Bailey's coffee. So like there's like a chocolate with vanilla. Good. One of the best cake pops I ever had. Shit's on Starbucks, everything like that.
All day.
Homemade, and you can taste the love. That's what really sets that off. Is the love that goes into those cake pops. But oh my god, so back to the cakes. So then like I had a serving, and then we would go sit down. We're watching the Caps game. And then like I'd be like, oh, like someone needed a beer or something, or I would get up and I'd find my way right back to the stove. And I'd look over my shoulder and still right there waiting. I'm like, here you go, bud. I cut him a slice, myself a slice. Then I'm like, oh, close that one, and then right to the blueberry.
It was like a dog. Your dog knows where the treats are, and every time you go to grab a treat, he's right there. You didn't got to call him.
Yeah, he just knows.
I saw you walk in the kitchen like, oh. I'm gonna get me a slice.
And then the night's winding down, so everyone's leaving. And I'm one of those people, and this is my problem with food. So like, I'm one of those people where I know this is a problem. Like, and if the cake is in this house, I'm gonna eat it tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And the way my brain works is, let's just eliminate the problem today.
Yeah,
I'll eat all of the cake today. So it's like winding down, not many people are there, and I'm like, well, this looks like enough for us to split more. And then like literally, I just cut. Here I go. One for you, one for me, and we did it until the cake was gone.
It was delicious.
And then I laid down and I couldn't see my toes or anything else because my gut was protruding. I was so full. I remember like laying down and trying to breathe, and I was just like, like I couldn't.
I fasted all day. It was like 4:30. My chick said,
Yeah.
"You haven't eaten all day. You want something?" I was like, "Nope."
Yeah, I did not have breakfast Saturday morning. I did not eat breakfast, and then like lunch, I ate like Saturday afternoon, and I ate like a light lunch. And of course, I'm eating leftovers.
Yeah, of
You know,
course.
because they have so much food left over. I was like, oh, I don't want to go down this road again because when I have a thing, like if it's there, I'm going to eat it. It's why I don't have snacks in this house. It's why I don't have chips. Because if there's chips here, I will eat the chips.
Yeah.
That's why I just eliminate from buying that shit. But oh my God, I ate so much fucking food.
Yeah, that's a problem for me too. Like
Yeah.
when I was in that 75 hard, I was telling my chick, like, you buy snacks, you got to put it
Yeah,
somewhere.
you have to hide it.
Because if I see it, I'm gonna have 1 or 2 cookies. I'll grab a little one.
Yeah. And that's
Each
hard.
10.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. And that's like chick, like she's an Oreo monster, like she's a cookie monster too. And I'm the type of person I will eat a whole sleeve.
Oh, you don't. Yeah.
They're like, oh, that was 15 cookies.
You didn't even realize you're doing it.
No. And I am still, that is my, like, it's my personality trait. I'm addicted to food like that. Like if it's there, I'm going to eat it. Like, and I got no problem saying that. That's why, and I know that's why I can't allow these things in my fucking household.
We've housed some food together.
Yeah, that's the thing is I know, like I said, I looked over my shoulder and you were like, is he cutting more cake? Like I just knew it was going to be there. But
You're right or die, whether it's the right thing or the wrong thing. Yeah, I got your back.
I'm here for that. But feeling better, the gut's back down, you know, got a good workout in. I did a workout Sunday. No beer league for me. I haven't been back since the chop. Like I haven't had a desire to play.
Which was wild. We shared the video on Instagram. You got to go check that out. I've never seen some shit like that.
Yeah.
It's definitely the definition of a bender.
Yeah, it happened. And watching the video, it happened really fast. Like, but I remember being there and it didn't happen that fast.
Yeah.
Like everything was much slower than that. I mean, I was in the box, so I had like a front row seat to everything. But like watching it in person, it felt like much slower than what had happened in the video. And you know, like I said, big shout out to Steve, that ref. Man, like I feel like we should take him out for some beers because he literally dry humped that guy off the fucking ice. And what's crazy is I talked about it before. At the start of that game, he wasn't there. It was just the younger referee. And I was like, man, if Steve never showed up, this would have been a fucking bloodbath.
And like, you see all the guys waiting for the next game, standing there watching, like as that guy's doing that, like and he gets thrown off the ice and he stands up and there's like a crowd of people that were watching what was going on. Like it had to instantly hit him like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's
like, I'm an idiot.
Yeah. Well, that's why he got undressed and left before the fucking cops got there. And come to find out, I don't think I mentioned it, but one of the cops that showed up there, he used to play, like Uncle Rob told me, he was on our team one year. And I was like, I don't even remember that. Like, and he was like, he was like, that's why I didn't play. He's like, that's why I don't play anymore.
Pickle?
Yeah, Pickle.
Yeah.
He was like, that's why I don't play anymore. He was like, people like that ruined it for me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, and kind of that's where I've been since then, you know, like, you know, we're old now, you know, we're older, you know, I'm in my 30s.
Yeah, I'm dirty thing.
And yeah, man. And, you know, we've got a career and house and kids. And like, I can't be around that type of shit. Like, I don't want to play in a league like that where people have true intention of hurting somebody. Which is why, and here's the thing, I love good hockey. Like I love a good board battle. I love a good battle in front of the net. And when I do that shit, I'm like, hey man, good battle. Like as soon as it's over, like there's no hard, that was a good battle. I say that. Like as much as I chirp, like I also will be like, man, that was a good board battle. You know what I mean? I have no problem with a good board battle, which is why I want to talk to you about, you played up at the St. James League.
Yep.
A little bit faster, a little bit more, like definitely more skill, more involved team. Tell me about the difference of like, because you haven't played in this league in a while, but you know the league.
Yeah,
you know everyone in the league. But tell me more about like, because you said you had some good battles.
Yep.
Tell me more about like how that went down versus like just compare the leagues for me.
First of all, I have to say this: the St. James facility is the nicest rink I've been at in my entire life, from youth hockey all the way up. And I've played up and down the East Coast all over. And this is the nicest facility. I mean, they got a indoor football field.
Damn.
They got a volleyball court. They got the rink. They got upstairs. They got a shopping area, a gym. And when I say shopping area, I mean like you can go buy workout clothes and then go work out if you wanted to.
Dude, that's money.
Yeah, dude, it's so sick. Olympic sized pool, beautiful.
We don't have that stuff down here.
I had to walk down 2 flights of steps to get to the hockey rink. So much more competitive. I would arguably say maybe the best league in the DMV as far as skill, all around, not just one dominant team. Good hockey. I got asked to sub for a team. It was a playoff game. It was actually the best team that we were playing against.
Okay, cool.
The team took an L, and it is what it is. That team wasn't really set up to play against this other team. So the team had a lot of youth. Every single player on the other team back checked too. You don't see that a lot in beer league. And when it's the younger guys, they're used to that shit. They're skating
quicker too. Yeah.
And I was used to it a little bit from up north, but not like that, where every single player
didn't have time to breathe and coast. Like
exactly, no room. You had to be quick with it. I played well personally. Had a lot of time. I set a lot of guys up. There should have been a lot of more goals. I should have had some Genos myself as well. But they had definitely good battles. I was getting checked in the back in front of our net defending, and I'm turning around, going battling with him, pushing him around, and then the whistle and a little slight tap on the shin. Good battle, buddy. Yeah, you too, man. Yeah. And we just skated away. It was cool.
I like that. See, that's what I like about that hockey.
And it was cool because while I'm making moves and playing my game, you'd have a guy skate by like, I don't know how you do that. Just small chit chats. You're kind of chirping the other guy, but at the same time, it's not a friendly environment, but it's an area.
You appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, I don't know how the fuck that happened. I snuck that one through.
I'll tell a guy that I don't get fried often. Like that doesn't happen often. But when someone does toe drag me or put it through my legs, I'm like, damn son, I'm like, you fucking got me. I have no problem acknowledging.
And I love it because you're in that atmosphere. It's a respect level.
Yeah,
they respect the fact that I'm good at what I do, and I know you're good at what you do.
That's the code of hockey that I like to play. Like I like the respect level. You're gonna slash me, you're gonna do that because that's hockey in general. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, if I beat you or you beat me, you gotta be like, damn man, you outworked it. You know what I mean? And I had no problem acknowledging that.
Yeah, so and the refs were letting stuff go. It was a really fun hockey game. Cool. Unfortunate the team that I was playing for wasn't set up for that. I think they actually were playing because the team that team was supposed to play forfeit or something like that. It was a wild scenario, but it was nice to get out there and play some hockey. It had been a couple weeks since I had moved. So something I'm looking forward to. I think we're going to try to get the boys, you, Stevie, to jump on that roster and really build it up. And I think we'll be a deadly threat next season, but definitely really good hockey.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully I can get on there. And that's what I'm looking forward to is just that next level of beer league hockey, the competitive side, but it's not dirty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's the problem with the league down here. It's just so mixed. You got A players and D players, you know what I mean? And then,
and you have to not respect, but understand where some of these guys maybe come. There's no excuse for what that guy did 2-inch shot, but if you're getting dogged out every single game because you're on a bad team, you're going to get frustrated. Absolutely. And especially if there's clowns out there, like I'm at a skill level to where I know I can take advantage of players, but if I'm up 5-0, I'm not going to. Right. I'm going to look to make a pass to a guy that hasn't scored all season or something like that, And there's those guys out there that they don't care. 5-0, 7-0, 9-0. They're going to try to go through your legs and go between their legs and do all this crazy shit. And nope, that's not fun.
Yeah,
that's not fun. It kind of kills the vibe. And then what happened to the league? Well, you were an asshole all the time. Yeah, that's what happened to the league. No one wants to come back and play.
Right. It was funny to me in the beginning when we would mercy teams, but I feel bad now because it's damn, that's going to make them not want to come back.
Yeah.
And that's when we get up a certain amount, we're all right, we got to make 5 passes. We got to look for back doors and
it's unfortunate that when we put a team together, it really is just the boys, which it's all of our friends. We hang out outside of hockey. Yeah. We just happen to all be good at hockey. Yeah. And people are like, oh, you guys built this team. We didn't build a team.
We're friends.
This league wasn't happening. We'd just be drinking somewhere.
Right. That's what I really enjoy playing. I enjoy playing hockey with my friends.
Yeah.
That's why we have fun. That's why we win, in my opinion, because we're not just signing up and joining a team or you don't really know anyone on the team. And
there's no chemistry.
Exactly. It's not that fun. Now it is a good time. Hockey, nonetheless, I've really made a point to just have fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? As I've gotten older, I'm I just want to have fun this season. I just want to, I'm not trying to be in the box. I got that penalty. I was man, I don't want to I'm paid time to sit in the box.
Yeah.
I'm paying money to sit down. I'm no, because And honestly, penalties come, in my opinion, when you're lazy.
Yeah.
Like that, even in the NHL, you look at a slow man penalty, a slash, a hook. It's because he got burned. He got beat. So he had to do that in order to keep him from scoring or making an opportunity to score for someone else. So like that's a big deal to me. So now that, you know, I'm in better shape and I'm going to continue to work on that. Like now that I got my speed up and my cardio up, I don't take lazy guy penalties. I'm going to just skate with you and cut off all your lanes.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. What do we always say? Move your feet. I yell that when I play all the time, like move your feet. If you're moving your feet, you're open for a pass. You're moving your feet. That means you're actively defending somebody. You're not just standing there and getting caught in this zone where you're just playing defense and you just get you get demoralized because you're just getting passed around. Well, yeah, if you stand in the same spot, you're making it easy for me.
Yeah, when I was younger, I used to get frustrated with that because, you know, I'd use all my energy to get open and do all these things. And I wouldn't get the pass. I'd go to the bench, be frustrated. They're not passing to me. As I've gotten older and matured, though, with my IQ, that's you're making a play when you're making it. Because what am I doing? I'm pulling a defender with me. I'm opening lanes for somebody else. You know, gotta keep wheels.
There was one guy that we played with. He's only been playing hockey for a few years, and I explained to him I was bringing the puck out of the defensive zone, and he was up on my left wing, and I was like, "All right, I got you. I'm going to make the pass, but I need to pull this defender away from you." And literally, I took one step left, and thank God he read it right and went to the right. And I felt like I was going left, and I passed it to him right in the middle. Yeah. And he was like, "Man, that was a really good pass." I was like, "That was a perfect play. Like you sold that you were going to stay left. As soon as you looked at me, you went right, and I went left, and I made him stick with me. You were wide open." I was like, "Bro, that's what we need to do." He was like, "Oh, okay, cool. I saw that." And I was like, "Yes." Like when someone who doesn't have that level yet of IQ, and then they see the play develop like that, you're like, man, that's fucking key. And then that's when hockey gets more fun because now you're getting the puck more, and now you get the opportunity to shoot. Because think about it, if guys aren't getting the puck, it's because they might not be open. It's not because I don't want to pass it to you, but I'm not going to force a pass. And I don't want to put you in a situation where you lose the puck and now you're losing confidence. Yeah. I want to be able to pass it to you and you have an open lane to shoot or an open lane to go behind, like get the puck deep.
Yeah, a high percentage play is available. I don't want to just give you the puck just because you're open for that split second when I know there's a guy back checking to you, there's a D-man in front of you. Why force it just so you can give it away?
And a lot of beer league players don't have the time. Well, they do. Like they just have different stuff, but like we dedicate time to shooting in the garage, to watching games, like literally every game that we can. And what do we talk about? Like we watch players. I'm like, man, did you see how he made space? Like I always talk about like Marchand and like McDavid. They make their own lanes. Like they see where defenders are. They literally throw their hips and their shoulders one way, but go another.
Yeah, my favorite guy with it is Kuzi. Kuzi will hold that puck until something gets open, and he'll do what he has to create the opportunity if it's not there. Yeah, a playmaker essentially. Yeah, man, it was, but it's been fun playing some.
Oh yeah, I forgot we started that with St. James. That's how we got sidetracked. Before we jump into hockey, we do have to jump on this hot take last night or the night before. I didn't watch the Oscars, but I mean the internet is absolutely blowing up about the Will Smith Chris Rock incident. So basically, I'm sure everyone knows about it, but basically Chris Rock made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith and her hair, talking about can't wait for G.I. Jane 2 to come out. I thought it was a funny joke.
So did Will Smith. He giggled.
He laughed. He did laugh. And then you could kind of see that Jada turned sour, looked at him, and then they were they put the camera back on Chris Rock. Will Smith left his seat, went up on stage, and smacked Chris Rock. And like it looked like, and a lot of people were saying, is it fake? Is it real? It was definitely real. Yeah. That was real as shit because it looked like, because even Chris Rock kind of leaned forward he thought he was maybe going to say something to him, is what I thought, because you can kind of see how like Chris Rock had his hands behind his back and like kind of leaned forward, and the man, like Will Smith, smacked the shit out of him. Yeah. Like smacked the ever living shit out of him. And you could tell it was real because as he's walking back, Will Smith is saying, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth. Yep. Like says that to him more than once. Yeah. And like, and Chris Rock's like, okay, I will.
You could tell there was that awkward moment. He didn't know what to do. And that's how if it was scripted, it would just kept on playing out. But he had that awkward moment. He's looking around, kind of like what just happened? Yeah. And that was a surreal moment. And you know what it all comes back to, though? The fact that he laughed a little, then looked over at her and felt like he had to do something. That just goes back to everything that we've been seeing with these two, right? It's toxic, their relationship at this point.
Yes. So I've got a couple points I want to talk about it. So one, Chris Rock, he's a comedian. He's a comedian. He was doing his job. And usually shows like that are scripted as far as jokes approval, especially nowadays. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like usually the comedian has to kind of, either he has jokes written for him, he writes jokes, and they get approved by the producers and stuff like that. So one, you can tell that was off cuff. That was out of pocket. Like that was, him just having a good time. I thought it was a good joke. Funny joke.
She's wearing an army green dress
and has a shaved head.
And she has a shaved head. Now it is because of
a hair condition where she has a scalp condition where she's losing, Appalachia
or something like that.
Yes,
I just want to point out that I've seen a video and someone shared it obviously because of this incident.
Right.
Will Smith made the same joke about a guy when he was younger.
Right.
Like he was, Will Smith's a comedian. He made the same joke.
Right. So here's the thing, and as comedians, I listen to comedic podcasts. I follow comedians, certain ones that I like and stuff like that. Their job is to push boundaries. Their job is to make light of situations, whether you like it or not. You know what I mean? That's why cancel culture and comedians, we don't work out that great.
Yeah.
Great example, Dave Chappelle. They tried to cancel him. My man already got his check. He's still living his life.
Yep.
He pissed off 10,000 people. It is what it is.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So like these people are there to push the boundaries and make you think about norms or societal norms, right? So I'm a fan of it, and that's why I don't take it to heart. They're comedians.
Yeah.
Like, nothing should be taken to heart.
Yeah.
But the fact that and let's go back to Jada looking over at Will Smith, and it was kind of like she gave him a look where if you don't do something.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? And my man Will Smith has already been drugged through the mud by this woman. The entanglement. Let's call that what it is. She cheated on him, and she said, "If he loved me more," I just read this quote. "If he loved me more, he would have known that she cheated on him." Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? And like right before we started recording, I kind of was looking at other people's posts and kind of getting more not intel, but just trying to educate myself more on the scenario. And then people bringing up their toxic relationship and how Will Smith has been pushed to the brink because of this woman. The entanglement, he was embarrassed on that show. And there was a whole meme, the crying Will Smith meme, just like the crying Michael Jordan head.
Yeah.
People did that with, Will Smith. And nowadays the culture is ruthless. You know what I mean? The culture is ruthless. And
we can poke fun at anyone. And that's something I kind of wanted to bring up, after this all happened, you can see Will Smith was crying. Actors came to his aid, checking on him. I'm sure he had a moment where he just broke. Yeah. And people were giving shit, oh, your wife cheated on you and you beat his ass and all these things like that and blah, blah, blah. He was, that shit piles up and people have breaking points. Maybe he was able to handle that a little better. But I will say this. I do think it's funny that in today's society that if we say something about a woman's weight, we say anything about a woman, we are looked down. Yes. F you can't say that, right? But it's okay for a woman to talk shit. My dick ain't big enough. I can't last in the bedroom. I don't make enough money. Yep. I'm not a good dad. A woman can say whatever she wants about a man, and it's okay. But the slightest remark about a woman, this incident, her haircut, whatever it may be, and now look where we're at. Yeah,
no joke. And also, when you look at when Will Smith is yelling those words like "keep your wife's name out of my fucking mouth," you can tell he's angry, but if you look at his mouth, he looks like he's about to cry right then and there. Yeah. You can kind of tell he didn't want to do that. Obviously they have a relationship, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And, for that to, and you could tell Chris Rock was completely caught off guard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you could tell he was hurt in that moment that he even did that. You know what I mean? But he, like you said, breaking points and driven to that point by someone else. You know what I mean? And people like that, it's bad enough that they aired out their relationship on a TV show. That's bad enough. I don't talk about my relationship.
That's me and chick's business. We didn't know anything about these people's relationship prior to this happening. They were very private. Yeah. You didn't really hear much about it. No gossip about Will Smith and scandals and all these things. And then boom. And it makes you wonder, was she jealous of his fame? Was she jealous of where he was at with his career compared to hers? You know what I'm saying? She still brings up the fact that she was friends with Tupac. And it's just it seems like she's digging. She's, you know what I'm saying? And so I'm just not a fan of it. And you have to feel bad for Will in this scenario. And it's unfortunate that it got to this point and it was done in a public eye. But, you have to think that those tears that came after was from frustration and probably embarrassed.
Yeah, and those were big. That was pain. That was pain. Embarrassment that he did that. Embarrassment that he was put in that situation. It's a tough thing. And, a lot of people are just battling if it's fake or if it's real.
And I was going to say, at first when I saw it, I was like, oh, it's fake because, everything we've heard the last few years, Hollywood, it's hard to trust all these actors and the bullshit they do. But that was real.
And that was real pain. That's a real broken man, who's upset. Just like you said, everything piled up, and who knows what their personal life's like. You know what I mean? And you can tell a lot how people just look at their significant others and stuff like that. And the way she cut eyes You know, like when she was unhappy with that joke.
Yeah, they show him. He does a little smack, like, okay, you got your joke in, haha. And he looks over her and she's just like, dirty, ugly look, like you better do something or I'm gonna air out more shit. Yeah, it's kind of like he felt obligated to do something. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's a tough scenario to be in. I'm sure.
Yeah, it's hard to speak on in any matter. You know what I mean? Because what goes on behind closed doors is different. Which, like I said, me and Chick's relationship, I keep that private. Yeah, that's between me and her. I don't, people. It blows my mind that people, go to Facebook and air out shit. Like I can't believe they did this. I can't believe they did that. And it's like, whoa, I never understood that. Is it for attention? Is it for
1,000%? It's for attention. It's
and to make that other person look bad.
Yeah, right? And it's for approval to make them feel good about. Oh, I got your back.
Validation.
Validation. Exactly. And I'm the same way. Like I've been in a relationship where we're one of those people, everything we did, we posted pictures and blah, blah. Right. But realistically, I wasn't happy in that relationship. And behind the scenes, it wasn't all the glory.
You're trying to pretend that you're
exactly.
happy,
and now that I'm in a relationship where like we're always just in the moment, enjoying our time together, like there's no time to think like, oh, let's take a picture and show her. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. Like, we talk about all the time. Like me and her are the worst. Yeah. About taking pictures because I don't ever we're having a moment together.
Yeah, we're doing something.
To be in our moment.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's, even from the welcoming party, your party the other night. We only had one picture.
And it's at the end of the night, we're all tore up.
Yeah, out of the whole day, and that's when we're on the couch together. Like we didn't take any pictures. Like I never because I wasn't on my phone. I didn't touch my phone once when everyone was over here.
Me neither.
All the people I text were in this room.
Yep.
So I didn't have to look at my phone. The only time I looked at my phone was to check scores, and at one point we're all watching different games on our phone.
And it's also embarrassing too when those people flood their information and shit they're going through, like, oh, she won't pay her child support, blah, whatever the case may be. And then 2 months later, you got a picture. I love you, baby, forever. You're my one and only. It's like, what happened?
Yeah, it's so wild.
It's just, it's embarrassing. And I just feel like Facebook is not a place where you should be airing out your dirty fucking laundry.
No,
bro.
It's definitely weird. And social media has changed because, even people do that shit on TikTok now. Like, I haven't been on the talk lately. I've been trying to detox from the talk, you know what I mean? Except the stuff that we're doing. Yeah. But because it's just, I don't know what it is. Our brains just desire more information, but not the right information, just useless, dumb information. You know what I mean?
Kind of. My timeline is exactly it's conspiracies. It's like pyramid shit.
Yeah.
And hockey.
Yeah. Mine's a mix. It's like hockey, pyramids, and there's always random dances. And I'm like, why are
they slide that in to get you to like it so they can add more to it.
And that's the thing. That's why. I know TikTok, the algorithm and how it works. I don't like anything. So I always keep TikTok at a guessing.
Well, they also use the time you look at it. They use what your eye, like I was reading the thing the other day that you could have a picture here, but if you're staring at the video of the girl shaking her ass up here and you like the car picture, they know you were looking at the top video.
Yeah, they read your eyesight. Yeah. They can tell where you're looking on the screen.
It's
wild. Creepy. It's nuts. And speaking of where TikTok came from, China or whatever, they limit the time the kids can use it. Like when they're at school, kids cannot access.
Well, they also push a different agenda too. Correct. So over here, you're an idiot and you're out here just doing stupid shit and pranking people. They're gonna reward you. But over there, they're building shit and engineers and math and all these things. That gets pushed heavy. What they want their citizens to see.
It's weird. I some of my favorite, the ones I do like a lot on here. Because I have construction TikToks that I follow. There's just one roofing guy, him, and he's just yelling out measurements, and a guy throws up a perfectly cut piece of wood, and he's hits it with the gun, and then he hits his measurements, and it's that's true talent.
Mm-hmm.
That is so impressive to me.
Yeah,
that, and I love I'm a real nerd for clean copper. When someone puts in a boiler and runs clean ass copper, or when someone does wiring and they run clean electrical conduit.
I love copper too, especially if they run it on the valley on the roof. And copper gutters, man, so clean.
That, and I think I've said it before, but lately I love the septic. This guy I follow, this one guy's called Pooper Society, and he just cleans out people's septic tanks. And I do not like working with the plumbers at my job. I'm a steam fitter. I don't like to work with the plumbers, but for some reason I love watching this guy find what's in people's septic tanks. It's the wildest shit, literally. It's the wildest stuff.
You do have some wild shit. Because a few episodes back, we were talking about how you and what was it, horses or cows?
Yeah, or
hoof
cleaning.
Hoof cleaning. Whoa, yes.
I got lost in hoof cleaning, and I think I could confidently repair a horse or a cow's hoof. Because they just shave away. Oh man, because that's on there too. That's why I didn't bring it up. Because I watch the weirdest TikToks, and then lately, because I'm on nights, when I take my lunch break at night. I've somehow got like in the scary lane of TikTok, like horror stories.
Oh, those are good.
I'm in a lone, like it's me and one other person in this massive building, and it's like I'm reading it, and I'm like seeing shit out of the corner of my eyes because I'm tired. I'm like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
I'm like, I get rid of this. I get rid of horror TikTok. Like,
those can get creepy, especially when it's the one that pops up and it's like a Reddit and it's like, what's the blah blah?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, when I was 6 and this happened, and then when I was 23 it happened, and it's like,
and they hook you. The ominous music they play in the background
gives you chills just thinking about it.
Yeah, like I just got chills. Damn.
I do love that though, and I chase that. That's how they get me, because once I see one, I'm like, I'll scroll through 5 videos trying to get another, and I'm like, oh, I haven't seen one. That's all I want to see right now.
Yeah. Like I said, but and don't click on it. Like I go to some profiles, then the next thing you know, I've watched 10 terrifying TikToks. So I'm like, I got to detox. I'm like, now I'm just thinking about shit in my life that I've seen and like other shit, and I'm like, man, like
it's wild.
I am glad that people air that shit out though. Like I'm not airing my shit, but I'm glad other people air.
Yeah, because it opened your eyes to like, kind of like when you're a child and you don't know about shit. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel even still as adults. Like, holy fuck, like, that shit is really happening.
I was just saying, we're both very open-minded. There's nothing that I stand like. I don't stand firm in any belief. It's like, oh well, that's interesting. You know what I mean? Like
there's some beliefs, obviously. We've talked about that before.
Yeah,
men should not be in women's sports, those type of things. But yeah, what you're saying, I completely agree.
Yeah, but like on that lane, it's like, man, there's so much random shit where it's like, this is possible.
Yeah,
like this is possible.
Wild.
Like our skinwalker is real. I don't know. I've seen some videos where people are shift changing.
Yeah, that's another one that's come back around from the Obama era.
Yeah,
that security guard.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait for summer and there's no hockey, because conspiracies are back, boy.
Conspiracy talk and then behind the nets. I love it. But I get lost in that stuff, and I got to be careful because I'm like overload. You know what I mean? And then it sets me off with like what my goals are. You know, like
and it can really affect your way of thinking, because I know like if I get like an hour or something, like the kid's taking a nap and I got an hour kill, and I end up scrolling instead of doing something productive.
Yeah.
After that, even when I'm sitting there playing with him, I'm thinking about that shit. Still. I'm sitting there playing cards, like, damn, that is my skinwalker's real.
Right. And you're like,
is that a chupacabra? What was that?
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Our giant's real. I don't know. We'll talk about it over the summer. But yeah, so it's. I feel like it's a helpful app, a hurtful app. There's so many ways to look at it.
It's all on how you use it.
It's all on how you
use it. Because we just started doing the Men Behind the Mitts one, and we're just flooding it, and we're getting good feedback.
Yeah, it's fun.
Same with SILKY Mitts.
Yeah.
SILKY Mitts finally had a video, which isn't big, but finally had a video that hit 25K.
Right. That's
huge.
Yeah,
exactly. So there's pros and cons, right? There's pros and cons to everything. It's all on how you use it. Just like the same as like, way off topic here, but like prescription drugs. Like, can help you, can hurt you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's multiple ways it can affect your life.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yep.
But yeah, man. So but jumping back to the Will Smith thing, I hope he finds peace. I hope he reconciles with Chris Rock.
I'm sure more will come out as time goes on.
Absolutely.
Because I haven't heard anything from Chris Rock, his point of view, what he thought or anything. So I'm sure a lot of shit's being hushed right now until it can be.
Yeah, calm down.
Yeah.
Like let the smoke clear. Everyone's already got the memes. I mean, I didn't even know what happened. And I was on Instagram, and even hockey pages had the memes.
I had them relating to the Austin captain, Alexander Simmons slapping.
Yeah.
Oh,
I saw memes, and then I look over, like literally as I looked over to ask my buddy what this is about, he was like, "Have you seen this video?" And then like we watched it, and we were just like we were in disbelief. It literally happened like 20 minutes prior, and everyone is. That's how the internet works. I mean, the internet was already eating it up.
Oh yeah, because you're on nights, so like it was like I saw it this morning. I woke up because I don't watch that dumb shit. I woke up and I'm like. I'm like, did you see it? She's like, Will Smith? I saw it too. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, like I don't need to reward millionaires with more awards. Like, let's fucking chill, guys.
Go F yourself.
Yeah, so that's not a priority of mine. None whatsoever. And there was late night hockey games on, so I'd watch that over.
Yeah, so much overtime.
Yes,
we were going back and forth texting about it. It was so much fun.
Speaking of hockey, man, let's go ahead and transition over to the NHL. Mm-hmm. We've got some hot takes that we're going to talk about as well here. But just there's 16, 17 games left in the season.
We're getting close.
When this episode drops, there'll probably be 14, 13 games left, somewhere in that time range. But we're getting down to the nitty gritty.
Mm-hmm.
The teams are really shaping up as far as chemistry, speed wise. The trade deadline's done. Everyone's where they're going to be for the rest of the season. People are making waves. Florida making waves with Giroux. Got Flower out in Minnesota. You know what I mean? Getting to see him out there. Vegas finally getting some wins with Eichel on the team. Where were they 0-9 when Eichel joined?
They were 0-9 since, I believe, 0-9 since they took the L from Buffalo with Jack's return, which was huge for Buffalo because now we've seen Buffalo.
Man, Buffalo's kind of turned things around.
Yeah, they've really gained some momentum from that. I think there's some confidence built up in that locker room after that. It kind of got the chip off their shoulder type of deal, and they've been in the constant OT games, and you have to assume that it's going to move forward. That's going to be a good thing for that organization.
Yeah, no jokes. And that's what's kind of cool is the league is really it's shaping up. We've talked about a couple divisions that are already set in stone, as far as the top 4 and wild cards go, and then you still got the Central and the Pacific, man, where this is a tight race. A lot of these teams are only 2 points off of each other and stuff like that. But what I do want to touch on is the Metro Division. Before we go into breakdowns, I want to touch on the Metro Division because this has been a hot take on not only our show, but Spit and Chiclet. Shout out to the guys over there, Biz and Whit, and also on the NHL Network, man. There's been a lot of discussion about the Metropolitan Division. They did a lot. The Metropolitan Division did a lot of trade deadline work, unloaded some guys, picked some guys up. Some teams really made some good moves here. Carolina holding the number 1 spot. But the big standout, and especially, this isn't a Capitals podcast. You guys know that. This is an all around the league podcast, but we do love the Caps. Those are our boys. It's our favorite team. I truly love every team in the NHL. It's hard to say. Like I watch every game I can. Yeah. And I love watching hockey in general.
Love rooting for a good game. I want every game to go to a shootout so we get the most hockey out of every single game.
I want everything. But Biz over on TNT bringing up the Capitals, talking about, we didn't do anything in the trade deadline, which, unfortunately, I agree with. We did the minimal, in my opinion. But I know you got a hot take on it. And then honestly saying that we're not, we're first round exits, that we're not a threat in our division. And I know you have a hot take. Let's roll right into your hot take. What do you agree with Biz? Do you disagree with Biz? What do you feel about the Capitals moving forward?
Listen, I think what Biz is saying is honest. He's being completely honest. The Caps didn't make any moves that would make you say, wow.
Yep.
They haven't played at a level where you're like, they're the real deal this year. Now they have been, injury after injury. It's been one thing after another for Washington, the goalie situation, blah, blah, blah. However, Caps have got over the hump before with less talent, I feel.
Yeah.
In 2018, we go down that roster. Now these guys have gone on the blossom, Stevenson, Burakovsky, things like that. But there was a time during that season where we were talking about Berkey being shaky mentally. And he was seeing a psychiatrist, blah, blah, blah. That was known in his confidence level on this. Those were a lot of things that were going on that Stevenson wasn't the level that we knew he had wheels and he was developing, kind of like Verona.
Yep.
But he wasn't where he is now in Vegas. Exactly. And Holtby, everyone wanted to get rid of Holtby. Yeah. And then he's known for the save. That save will be a highlight reel for the rest of forever.
I mean, without that save, we weren't winning the
cup. And I think having the leadership roles that Washington has and knowing what it takes to get over that hump, then you got guys like Anthony Mantha, coming back, who's been on fire.
Yeah.
I think the addition of Mojo, Marcus Johansson, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, Spronger's already been scoring since going over to Seattle. Well, that's to be expected. That roster is not as doesn't have the depth that Washington has. So they're looking for him to step up and do that. And we knew he could do it to begin with.
And let me interject on Mojo. I have a weird thing about bringing old players back. I have a weird thing about that. But watching, I was iffy. I was like, he's a solid player. He's gonna fill in the lineup like he used to. He's a solid player. But watching him in game, he's got some more speed. Mm-hmm. He's got his IQ's only gotten better.
Two-way forward.
Yeah, he's a solid two-way, not a big fella, but someone he's gonna be a grinder. He's get the pucks deep.
We didn't bring him in to score goals.
Correct. We brought him in to be, I think, in my opinion, just a two-way forward, like you just said. We need someone who's going to consistently back.
We needed some responsibility almost. We needed someone that could come in and do what we need. That's it. We don't need you to go out there and try to be OV. We don't need you to go out there and block shots. Playing a strong defensive game. We need you to be a good two-way forward.
Yep.
So we can transition better into offense.
Yeah, he's got the resume. In my opinion. So to moving forward with him, I think he was a solid addition. Still love Spronger, love what he put into the team, love how he helped us last year in the taxi squad. Hope for the best for him to continually to grow.
I'm sure he'll be another Stevenson, Burakovsky that'll just blossom and blossom.
Yeah, but again, back to Biz's comment, I know that a big point for us over here has been the goaltending.
Mm-hmm.
Watching Sammy and V, they're either on or they are fucking off and they look lost.
Yeah, and it pains me because of all the talent that the Washington Capitals have developed through goaltending that go on and play elsewhere. You got Grubauer, you got Varlamov. All these guys have come up and drafted by Washington and play great hockey and then go elsewhere, and really turn it up to the next level. So to see these two young guys that we've kind of been developing not playing at their best, it's very unusual for the Washington organization. And then to not make a move and with so much uncertainty, we don't have a number one goalie.
Right.
When I say we, I say the Washington Capitals. The Washington Capitals don't have a number one goalie right now. That's set in stone. A lot of people are saying it's V. Some guys are saying it should be Sammy because of, his tenured and blah, blah. On paper, they're both kind of similar.
Yeah, so here real quick, Sammy, 19 wins, 9 losses, goals against 2.95, save 0.889. So there's 3 goals a game. There's 3 goals a game. V, 17, 9, and 5, goals against 2.45, save 0.917. Neither of these guys are stellar.
Neither is a stud, and neither has looked like someone that can go steal a series for us.
Yeah, and when you're letting in between 2 and 3 goals a game, that means you've got to be putting up 4 or 5. Mm-hmm. We've got the offensive weapons to make that happen. Mm-hmm. But we cannot, and that's what's great about the Capitals. And they've had 26 different goal scorers this season. Mm-hmm. Like the wealth is dealt around. It's not just Ovi. It's not just Oshie. Wilson's at 20. You know what I mean? Like we've got guys.
Wilson's on pace for 50 points this season. Yeah. That's huge. And now they're saying that Lars Eller might be pushed to the wing because the young kid, Connor, McMichael playing so well at center. Like that's huge for this organization. And we still got, was it LaPierre still going to come up? We still have so much youth. We just re-signed Snively, even though he's injured. He had wheels for days.
Axel fitting in nicely on the roster as well. So back to Tommy real fast. 20 goals, 26 assists. 46 points. I mean, he's going to break the 50 mark.
Yeah, and
he could even reach 60 in my opinion.
Yeah, and Cap's having a real big test. You'll get it tonight. I know it's Thursday. We drop this. It's Monday here for us. We're recording. They're playing Carolina tonight, and Caps have had the best of Carolina so far this season.
Yeah.
So when you think about those things, that's someone who they could potentially play in the playoffs. I wouldn't say we're a first-round bust. If you want to put the finger on a first-round bust on anyone, we can now leave the Caps. And I think we just talk about Toronto. Right. They've had the stellar offensive capability where they should just be beating everybody. Yeah. Their defense obviously hasn't been the best. They had guys like Freddie, who now is in Carolina and showing that he is a good goalie. Yeah. So, I can't really call Caps a first-round bust this year just because they know what it takes to get over the hump, and they still have that core group, Nicky, TJ, Ovi, Kuzi playing like no other. Yep. John Carlson, things like that. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's gonna take a team effort for sure to get past this first round. I don't want to call first round knockout. Of course, I want to say the boys are going to hoist the cup. That's what I want to say every year. But it's going to be a battle. We're going to have the team buzzing on all levels: goaltending, defense, offense. Not only is Ovi got he's got some pressure on him. I feel like. Nicky coming in here, 1,000 game. He's got some big stuff going on here. Oshie, can we keep him healthy for the playoffs? We know the playoffs are going to be fast, especially if we're coming in as that wild card. We're going to have to play number 1, which might be Florida or Carolina. You know what I mean? It looks like Florida points wise, though.
Yeah, and Caps are one of the oldest rosters in the league, and they've played the most games. I think they got 67, where a lot of these other guys are 65, 66. I know it's just one
64
game,
even. Yeah,
yeah, but that shit comes into play.
Absolutely. I completely agree. So I think it's going to be an interesting playoff run for the boys. It's not going to be easy. We're not going to come in and steamroll anybody. Mm-mm. It's not going to be that type of year. And I just hope that we don't get steamrolled.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you look at the year that the Caps won, that first round was brutal.
Yeah, we almost didn't.
Yeah, we couldn't even make it out the first round against Columbus. Holtby gets pulled, doesn't even start. Like Gruby gets the start, then Holtby comes in and is a game changer. So we could have the same thing. Maybe, V stood on his head when he was a rookie because of the bubble situation, and he played well. We don't know what's going to happen. And that's the best thing about hockey. That's one of the sports I'll never bet on as hockey, because any night, anyone can step up and play.
That's why I had to stop playing fantasy hockey, because you can't. How do I pick? It's not like football where this is the receiver.
You have about a handful of guys you can count: McDavid, Matthews, Draisaitl, Ovi. Those guys obviously. But after your top 10 guys, it's a battle. No one expected Kreider to be where he's at with goals this year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mangiapane was out hot for Calgary. You got Kyle Connor, who's also a stutter.
Yeah, 40 goals. So the goal chase right now is insane as well. There's a lot going on there. Matthews, McDavid up top. You know, it's Ovi's down in the 40s. You know what I mean? The Rocket is one hell of a chase this year.
Yep. And I think Matthews is really starting to pull away. He's really stepped it up this year. He is looking
he's becoming Austin Matthews.
Yeah, this is what everyone was expecting from him. Yep.
He's a beaut, man. He's really he's getting better every game. He's getting smarter. And you know they've got the weapons around him. It's just what's it going to take to get Toronto.
Were you a fan of the Toronto Justin Bieber collab jerseys?
I was, man.
A lot of people giving them hate because there's no black in Toronto, but I was a big fan of the black.
Dude.
Yeah, that shit was tough. And the reverse to the yellow.
Yeah, it was hard. Man.
Classy.
I was a big fan of that. It's cool to see. It's cool to have a celebrity, you know, like that. That's influencing hockey and making waves in hockey.
Yeah, and you know, from my point of view, you know, SILKY mitts. I'm a big fashion guy. To see the trends now coming over into hockey, because it's always been, you know, straight and narrow with hockey. You never saw what you saw in football and basketball. These guys flexing with their fashion, and now we're seeing that line in with the suits. And things
the suits this year have been.
Yeah, it's nice to see the fashion trends that, you know, are more mainstream nowadays coming into the world of hockey and opening up, and it's not just so black and white with the NHL anymore.
Yeah, you'll see SILKY mitts in the NHL in years to come. Like this is it's a grind. You know I mean? Just, you know, we're not Justin Bieber over here.
No,
you know
and we're not best friends with Austin Matthews, but we've got guys like Joseph Valino for the Red Wings wearing our shit. Blake Murray down in Carolina, he was a pickup for Carolina Hurricanes. He's got some of our gear. It'll come. Yeah, it's a grind. It's a grind.
It's cool. It'll come, and then before you know it's popping. You know
next thing you know, maybe Austin Matthews is my best friend.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So yeah, man, it takes time, but I like the collab. I like how the NHL is becoming a league where they're letting people branch out. They're letting people show their personalities. And big members of that are Austin Matthews. You know, you look at these guys wearing these suits. It's cool to see. Before it was just so cut and dry, and now everyone's just kind of in the mix with it. So I'm a big fan of it. I'm here for it. I can't wait for it to continually grow.
Yeah, the league is just it's not where I want it to be, but we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. We got big things coming. I like the idea of this World Cup of hockey coming, things like that. I love what the game has done since the removal of the 2-line pass. The game has gotten so much faster. You know, we had a conversation the other day where we were talking about this younger generation coming in. We're starting to see a different style. Like it's already with the Austin Matthews, McDavid, but now the younger guys, the Cole Caulfields, the Suzukis, the Zegras, exactly. We're seeing this younger generation come in that's also changing. In another 5-10 years, it's going to be to think about where they were at, you know, two-handing each other and you know, no glass around the boards. It's going to be like ancient times. Yeah,
it's crazy to witness like Ovi and all these guys and Crosby and Malkin, like they're on the way out.
Yeah, they're like,
it's crazy.
It's like potentially 3-4 years, there will be no Crosby, Ovechkin.
I was in middle school when they were drafted. You know what I mean? Like I was going into high school, and it's like to think that it's changing. And you look now, like McMichael. We talk about McMichael. We talk about these players. Like these are guys that are going to be the face of the Capitals.
These are guys that were kids playing juniors and had Ovi on the wall.
That's what kills me is you see the pictures like Ovi arms around, and they're like these
as
little
kids,
children,
and now
they're in the league.
Yeah, now they're boys.
It's so wild to see, but yeah, man, the youth is definitely going to be changing the league. I'm here for it. That continue, and because it's so much different. Like it's almost like every year the hockey just gets better and better.
Yep.
You know, and to make it in, there's so few American players in the league. There's so many different, you know, because they're just handpicked from all these different countries. Excuse me. So there's different meshing with all of these players, and man, I'm here for it. The future of the league is bright, and I can't wait for it to continually happen.
Yeah, and we'll jump into the divisions now, and we'll let you know how close it is. A lot of teams that you expect to be in the playoffs aren't, and a lot of teams that have really made a big jump.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's start with the Elaine Division first. We've got Florida is the number one team in the league right now, 94 points. Actually, I lied. Colorado's number one team in the league. Florida holding down the number one spot in the Atlantic Division, 94 points. Tampa behind them at 88. Toronto behind them at 87. Boston at 87 as well. Then you fall off to Detroit, Buffalo, 60-56. So those teams like Detroit and Buffalo, they're coming alive. Like we talked about Buffalo really putting it on as of late. These teams are going to be stealing points from these other teams and definitely changing the way the playoffs are lined up.
Detroit getting an ass whooping the other night, 11-2 loss to Pittsburgh. That was brutal. But yeah, you're right. They're heading in the right direction, I feel like.
Stop the blood.
Please, no more.
Throwing in white towels and shit. Oof. It's so brutal.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So I'll call it now. I'm here. Florida's taking home the cup. I'm calling it now. Since we're talking about the Atlantic Division, I think Florida's going to get it done. The addition of Giroux, their goaltending, I think they're going to get it done.
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. It's a tough one to say to commit this early. I have liked Florida. I was pulling for Florida all year, but the way Carolina has battled, you have to consider them. And
I'm definitely considering them.
Colorado, we'll talk about them here shortly, but they're still up there. It's just kind of the way the path is going. You're kind of not expecting too much anymore from them.
Well, that division too, the Central's wild, and we'll jump over to the Central now. I do want to touch on Boston before we leave the Atlantic.
Oh, they've been hot.
Yeah, Boston has been coming on hot since the new year. I mean, Boston they were wishy-washy the first half of the season. That top line, Pasternak, Marchand, they weren't that consistent. And man, they're really Pasternak with some dirt hands the other night. These guys are so it's just so weird how they get in the stride and vibe that night. You know what I mean? How every game is truly different. Like how it fits in. And that's what I love about hockey, when you get a line out there and you see that line buzzing. And you're like, holy shit, they've had the puck in the zone for 2 minutes. You know what I mean? They've had 4 shots on net in 2 minutes. It's like, wow, when they really get it buzzing like that. So that's a team that can do that. No problem. But the Toronto's there. Toronto and Boston are tied there. We're just talking about Matthews in Toronto. Hopefully, I'm a Toronto fan. I am. Hopefully they can piece it together and make it past the first round.
They make it past the first round. They're gonna have Stanley Cup parade. I'm pulling for them too. I'm a big fan of Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews. They got some great talent out there. Obviously like to see JT, who left New York to come over there to play for the hometown team to win it. They got Giroud now from Seattle. So hopefully they can make something happen here.
Definitely. Let's jump down to the Central real fast. We were just talking about Colorado. Colorado holding that number 1 spot with 98 points, the most points in the league. Minnesota behind them at 84. Nashville's at 80. And this is where it gets interesting, guys, right here. Nashville's at 80. St. Louis at 79. Dallas, of all teams. Dallas had a rough start, had some COVID issues. They were down I think 8 games at one point. Making up these games. Dallas at 75. We can't count out Winnipeg right here at 74, and then it falls off to Chicago and Arizona. But dude, this is the top 6 teams. They can make some waves here. There's, like I said, 17 games left, 15, 14 when this drops. Dude, Winnipeg and Dallas can be some playoff spoilers here for these lower guys, St. Louis and Nashville.
Yeah, I'm really surprised to see Winnipeg down so low in this division, but it has been a battle. And to see Dallas really come back and try to make something happen.
That's what I've been impressed with, Dallas making the comeback.
Yeah, definitely. You got to applaud that. St. Louis, obviously, just winning the Cup a few years ago. They got that taste is still there. They want to go back, and they got some great leadership over there with O'Reilly. But yeah, Minnesota, Colorado have been next level. Nashville is also a big surprise to be up there. I really thought they were on the back end, especially you start hearing these trades about Forsberg, and now he's having a career year. Yeah, dude. So it's a crazy division, the Central Division right now. Yeah. All eyes are on Colorado. I think it's theirs to lose.
I think so. I agree. I think between the goaltending and Cale Makar and these guys, I mean, watching this team work, it's incredible. But it's kind of like they're not overly flashy. They play hockey. Like they are good at executing the game plan, in my opinion, and that's what they can do.
They got great leadership too. Yeah. You see the other night Minnesota game, Dumba laying a big hit, and then McKinnon steps right back, steps up to him, and throws the blows. So they have a great team over there, great defense, great goaltending, great boss bench,
and they're holding on minus Landeskog. Like they're really keeping the pressure on the squad and keeping the game going minus Landeskog.
Yeah, that's huge.
And hopefully he'll be back. Before the playoffs, before playoffs get here. I know he's got that lower body injury. They never fully disclose. I think it's a knee. But, let's hope he can be back. And, that night he's got another offensive weapon.
Yeah, deadly.
Another big body in the front. Landeskog, we know what he's capable of, and this guy can do some work, score some goals, get some apples, no problem.
Yeah, and as Washington fans, we know what it's like to be number 1, so it doesn't mean everything.
Absolutely, yeah. We've been – how many division titles have we won?
Yeah.
And then didn't get anywhere.
Yeah, we only have 1 cup. So.
I almost don't like being number 1, especially number 1 in the league. That's pressure. You know what I mean? If you're number 1 in your division, that's one thing, but
even if you're number 2, there's still less pressure because, it's just the way the things have set up this season, especially being number 1 could come back to bite you.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Let's jump down to the Pacific, where we have another tight race with the top 6 here. Calgary still holding on to that number 1 spot, 88 points. I feel like Calgary. Let me run through these teams. We'll come back to Calgary. My bad. LA, big shocker there, number 2 to me, 81 points. Edmonton in 3rd with 77. Vegas in 4th with 76. Vancouver really playing lights out lately, 73 points. And then San Jose down at 66. And you still can't count out Anaheim, in my opinion, down at 65. And you got Seattle down at 46. They're pretty much out of this race for sure. But the top 7 teams out of this 8 in this division, the bottom 3, bottom 4, man, that's even actually the bottom four. Yeah, I mean, 77 to 65 points. A lot can happen here. In the division, outside the division, a win, if you have an in-division game, a win at this point is a 4-point swing. It's a 4-point swing.
Yeah, you're taking 2 and adding 2. And what would we say, 18 to 20 games left, depending on how many games have been played by that team. Obviously, Calgary has been on fire. Johnny Hockey is a stud. They have so much depth.
I mean,
they have so much
that
depth.
are really doing the stuff out here.
Adding Tyler Toffoli was huge over there. LA, though, yeah, you're right, has been the biggest.
Yes.
They still have some of their old core guys, you know. Edmonton is a slight disappointment, but the fact that they're still in the top 4, you know they're going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
If Vegas doesn't make the playoffs, though, after everything they've done, that's huge. They're hoping for Liner and Stone to come back for the wild card chase.
Yeah.
But
they got to move. They had some cap space issues. They had to move some stuff around.
The Dadonov trade got denied because of a new trade list. He's still there, and he's producing.
And he said, don't trade me, and then he puts up game-winning goal.
Yeah,
he's really Dadonov really showing out over there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a tight division. Vancouver has been a fun team to watch as well. They've really brought it on. Their goaltending has been outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, this is another team to watch, and it's a tight race. Who knows? I mean, 3 points separate this. 2 wins separates them in Vegas. So this can be a tight race here in the Pacific, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm pulling for Vancouver. They got a lot of talent over there, a good boss bench now. I really think if they can't get it done this year, next year, they're in the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, and just they're continually growing, and they've been getting better and better,
Mm-hmm.
like steadily. You know what I mean? And it's about time that they have some of that weight lifted, and they can make some solid moves.
Yep.
So pushing for them as well. Anaheim below San Jose here as well. Anaheim came on strong in the beginning of the season. They were really putting up some wins. Zegras, all these guys were getting involved early. Now they're just kind of like it seems like they're on cruise control. They're not really showing out. They're playing good hockey.
Loss gets off to an injury.
Yeah.
Those type of things take effect throughout the year.
Yeah, the injuries this year have been. I mean, look back at the Capitals real fast. I mean, holy crap.
Yeah,
the injuries have really affected our team. I think we'd be a different team, if Mantha was in all season and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So the injuries have definitely played a big role all around the league this year, and that leads us up to the Metropolitan Division. Carolina still holding that number 1 spot, 93 points. Pittsburgh in number 2 with 90 points. Holy crap, has Pittsburgh really come on as of late?
Yep.
Same with New York, 89 points. Excuse me. Washington in 4th with 84 points. Then we kind of drop off to Columbus, New York. Columbus at 69. The Islanders at 65. Then Philly and New Jersey. But yeah, man, this division, our division has been a weird division because the Islanders were cup contenders, in my opinion, last season before, and they just fell off.
Yep.
Right? New Jersey not making any waves. Hughes out there playing great hockey, just not getting it done on the squad. Columbus making some good moves, but I just don't have all the pieces of the puzzle yet.
Yep.
Some of their guys are a little wishy-washy as far as streakiness. There's some guys are on and they're off. We've already talked about the Capitals. Goaltending and keeping our top core healthy is going to be a big deal.
Yep.
Then you jump right to New York, where everyone is buzzing. You've got everyone clicking on it. You got a lot of guys clicking at the same time, and when not everyone's clicking, you've got secondary scoring coming right in. Kreider, Adam Fox, Zibanejad. This squad is a dangerous New York squad.
And then the addition of Ryan Reeves, regardless if it's on the board or not, has been huge for that locker room. I think they've really turned things around. He's blossoming over there as well.
Not only physically, but he brings a good attitude.
Exactly.
I think Reeves has matured in that part of his game. You know what I mean? Where he's bringing a better part of himself to hockey.
Yeah.
Not putting up big points. A lot of people love to compare Wilson and Reeves. That's no comparison.
Not anymore. Yeah.
But Reeves is definitely making his roster spot. He's solidified for sure. Protecting the guys out there and also having fun. When you can tell he's having a better time with hockey.
Yep, 100%. And what I was going to get at also is their goaltending.
Yeah.
Their goaltending has been lights out.
They have a solid duo.
Yeah, exactly. So you have to consider them a threat. I think they could be an underdog. I think they could get slept on, and I think they're a team that could go and steal a series or 2.
Yeah, I agree. Let me pull up Shesterkin because these guys are insane as far as goaltending right now. Really keeping them in big games.
He's played well. He's played real well.
Yeah, so Gorgiev and Shesterkin. Shesterkin 2.11 goals against. let's see here, 2.11 goals against, .936 save. Dude, he's 31-9-3. You know, he's really been the grinder, you know, for New York, playing the most games. He's their solid number one. Georgiev, 10-9 and 2 goals against, 3.08. Like, so I mean, Shesterkin has taken the majority of the load. He's going to be their go-to guy in the playoffs, I think. And what I couldn't choose a better goaltender for the Rangers to do that.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. And like I said, New York is someone you're going to have to keep your eye on because they could really steal a series.
Absolutely. And that brings us to Pittsburgh. And a lot of people slept on Pittsburgh. I was one of them. They really turned their season around after the new year.
Yep.
Really stepped it up, especially after the
getting Gino back too from injury has been huge. Sid even went on a little streak there where he was producing quite often. That's been huge for them. They picked up was it Lindholm on the trade deadline?
I'm looking, I think so.
Anyways, Pittsburgh has really been a great team. Yari, in my eyes, is their weak link. He's played well, was an all-star this season, but I don't know if he is a goalie that you can rely on as far as stealing a series or stealing a game for you in a series in a best of seven.
And same with Casey DeSmith. You know, he hasn't been rock solid. He hasn't been, you know, they've ridden Jari a lot, 33 and 13, goals against, 2.31. Yeah. I mean, he's obviously going to be their go-to when playoffs come around here. Casey DeSmith, solid backup. 6-4, hasn't had too much time between the pipes. Goals against, 2.96. But what I do want to talk about is how their points break down. Jake Gunsel really coming alive, doing some work for Pittsburgh. Yep. Brian Russ, Chris Letang, these veterans on this squad are making some big moves.
Well, Russ out now, right?
Yeah,
Russ was traded.
Is he traded or was he injured?
Was he part of who? Or was that Ashton Reese? Who was part?
Ashton Reese was traded.
Okay,
Ashton Reese was traded.
Not stat guys over here.
Not stat guys. Yeah, man. But they did get Richard Raquel for that.
Oh, I said Lindholm. It was Raquel. I'm sorry about that. That's my fuck up.
Yeah, and he's top 7 points wise. Kapanen over here. We can't forget about Kapanen. And the further you go down this list, you know, Dumoulin, Pedersen, old Brian Boyle. They've got solid guys that have been in the league for a while. They know what they're doing. And when you got the top 6 that they do, Crosby and Malkin up there, now that Malkin's back and healthy, that's a dangerous squad.
Yeah, a hat trick the other night, and one of his goals was completely deadly, sick move. Gino's a beaut. So yeah, another team that could go and steal a few games in a series and really flip people's brackets upside down.
Yep. I can't agree more. The number one in that division is Carolina. We talk about them. They're definitely solid cup contenders this year.
Yeah.
Freddie Anderson in goal for them, really stands on his head out there, playing some solid hockey. These, 31 wins, 10 losses, goals against, 2.07. And that's key, man. That goals against, keeping down around that 2.0 range is so key because it takes the pressure off your forwards. That, only having to put up 2-3 goals a game, it makes it much easier when you have that 3 goals against, a little bit more pressure there.
Yeah.
Because really when it's 3 goals against, you're looking 3, 4, 5 on some games. You know what I mean? So taking that pressure off the forwards, letting the game come to them, really makes a difference.
Yeah, completely. And they have a great lineup of goal scorers as well.
Absolutely, man. Aho having a hell of a season. We can't forget about our boy Svechnikov over there. Trotek, Tony DeAngelo, we talked about him previously because of the mishap he got in with the Rangers. Seeing DeAngelo blossom in Carolina has been great. Yep. Playing good, solid hockey over there. Max Domi now over there.
Yeah, that's solid huge. Pickup. It's huge for Carolina. Think about that. Max Domi can wheel and deal. He can score, or he can beat your ass.
Yeah, no joke. He's the total package. Like that's what I think.
He's a triple threat.
Yeah. So that's I think the NHL is going in 2 directions. 1 with players like Max Domi, and then 2 with players like Trevor Zegras. Yeah. You're really going to have to have
skill,
a lot of finesse, but also you're going to have to be able to bring the body.
Yeah, your grinders are also going to have to be able to have an offensive skill level as well. It's not more or less you're just on the ice because you can fight and throw a big hit.
Yeah,
you're going to have huge IQ and be able to make a play.
Absolutely, because that era of hockey's kind of gone. We do see the big hits. You
always
one big
will.
Hit a game. Yeah, it's never
hitting's
going to
be in the game. Exactly.
Yeah, because when you have that much speed and finesse, you're going to get caught lacking.
Yeah, much larger collisions.
Yeah, and you got guys that they don't necessarily headhunt, but they look for that hit versus turning off, and that's something that has changed a lot. Like with just watching games, a lot of guys they don't hit anymore. They'll turn off. They don't want to waste the energy of that hit.
Yeah, because it's brutal. Yeah. It's brutal. Taking a hit or giving a hit, it takes a lot out of you. It's kind of like boxing when you miss a punch. You got to be precise about your punch because you miss. That's so draining.
You hit the boards or you get tripped up or something, and then when you do make a clean hit, it takes a lot out of you. Like getting hit and laying shoulder like that, it's exhausting.
Yep.
So you might as well turn off and get back into play. You know, it's nice that everyone loves a big hit, loves a good till. Everyone loves to see fisticuffs, but fighting will always be a part of the game. I don't think that's going anywhere. We've had this debate before, but you know, as far as it's something that people are looking for, it's kind of phasing out unless there is a dirty hit, cross check from behind in the corner.
Anyone that says they watch hockey for the fights doesn't watch hockey. Because there's not much fighting going on.
Hockey is such a dynamic sport. You know what I mean? It's the fastest sport. I mean, you see how often the cameramen get confused. Like they just get tripped up with a pass or just a move. You know, so it's definitely the fastest sport, continually to grow. Dude, like speaking of, we were on the Comcast app. I was trying to find NHL. It was last before tennis. Like even NASCAR, curling was in front of the NHL. I'm like, man, there's just no love for the NHL in the States. And then having conversations with people, you know, at work and at school and stuff like that, and like they've never even heard of the KHL. But like, yeah, hockey's not even that big. I'm like, no, hockey's not that big here. Like hockey is European, Canadian, and Russian based. Like you guys have no idea how big the leagues are there. Anywhere else, no one cares about football and baseball except Americans. Yeah. Like everywhere else, it is hockey and futsal. I'm sorry, hockey. What was I going to say? Rugby.
Soccer.
Football. That's I was going to say. I said futsal. I was going to say football, but no, it's hockey, rugby, and soccer. Those are the biggest sports anywhere else. European based, Russian based, all those countries. Yep. It's a big staple. NHL here is just not seen that way, which sucks. But I think it's changing.
But it's also the greatest league. All the best players are here.
It is.
We have the best talent.
The talent comes here because of the money. The money to get everyone knows their name. Things like that, you know what I mean? You got to think about, like, people forget Kovalchuk, he's still playing. Yager, still playing. You know what I mean? Like, they forget about these guys because, they're not here, but they're tearing it up in the KHL. I love watching their video clips. I don't get to watch games, unfortunately, because I'm too focused on this. But, you know, there's always European leagues going on, always Canadian junior leagues going on. Big hockey is world-renowned. It's just not that big here. And it's gaining traction. And that's why I said I'm a fan of Beebs being in on it. You know what I mean? Different guys like this. Nashville, you got these great cities that are really backing these teams. Yep. Big fan of it. Continually going to be changing the NHL. And I'm here for it, brother.
Me too, man.
I'm here for it. Wow.
We're wrapped up there. That was good. We're all caught up. A lot of hockey coming our way. Playoff hockey is right around the corner. Hopefully the boys can get back on some lives here soon. We can get back and see your beautiful faces and your comments. We do miss you guys. So big things coming.
Absolutely, man. And we had some hot takes today. A lot happening in the world, a lot happening in the news and media and stuff like that. We try to steer clear of most of it. You know, we give our 2 cents every now and then. But, you know, we're here for the boys. We're here for some stories. We're here for beer league talk. We're here for you guys and definitely covering some NHL. And it's going to continue to get exciting as we whittle down in games. We say 17 games left, you know, and then it's going to be a tight playoff race. And I mean, we got hockey until May. You know what I mean? I'm okay with that. We got 3 more months of hockey, and it's going to be.
We got the Frozen Four coming up, the Legion NCAA. That's going to be some really great hockey. So, yep.
Looking forward to it. Definitely looking forward to playoff. What's great about playoffs is that there's less games to watch, but they're top tier games.
Yeah, they're intense.
The best thing about I always tell people that, like, watch playoff hockey. It is the fastest teams, the best goal scoring, the best goaltending. It really is. You whittle that whole league down, you know, to that top 16, and you go from there.
Yeah, everything is better. Like I've been to enough games to compare that. When you go to a regular season game, it's a good time. It's a good time. When you go to a playoff game, that shit's electric. Yeah, when you score a goal and the crowd's into it, you can feel it almost.
Every shift matters. Like every shift, every goal, every penalty is a big deal. You know what I mean? And also the refs tend to let them play a little bit more. Yep. They're not, and I think the refs have been pretty good about not calling simple penalties this year. Yeah, they've started to let little stuff go. You know, the slashes and the
let the boys play it out.
Yeah, you got. If you're not moving your feet, you're going to get called, and that's what we always.
And that goes back to the fighting and stuff like that. The aggressive, when there's not as much fighting going on, they don't have to worry about things getting too out of hand.
Correct.
By letting, we didn't let this go and we let this go, and now we got a brawl in our hands. Yeah. You're not seeing too many line brawls in the NHL anymore.
I agree, man. Looking forward to the playoffs and. Yeah, man, just keeping things going. Hopefully get involved with some more hockey around here. We've got some tournaments coming up.
More content from the boys definitely coming. Summer's coming up. We're going to be wheeling and dealing Blade Gang all day. Training facilities set up here at Foil Ups Training Camp. So big things coming from the boys.
Definitely going to have some good times. Got some BLPA tournaments lined up. Can't wait to share that content with you. We're going to try to reach out to them and get a little involved with some local stuff.
Yep.
So, yeah, man, just more content, more stuff. And, cheers to summer. I can't wait, man. This weather's so wild. It snowed over the weekend for like 30 minutes. It was the weirdest thing.
Yeah, so wild.
But yeah, once this weather breaks, man, we can take back to the street, get some street hockey going, some GHL going, and yeah, man, I'm here for it.
Me too, brother. It's been good catching up with you, talking hockey as always. Until next time, folks.
Be well, guys. Cool. That was a good pod, man. Sure. Right as the game started, too.
The boys from Men Behind the Mitts just want to say thanks for listening. And as always, be sure to follow us on all your favorite social media outlets at Men Behind the Mitts. Brought to you by Silky Mitts Hockey Club. Support the boys at silkymitsHC.com.